What's up guys, Katia here, and as you can see, I'm in a shop. I'm here at SCG Performance, and they're giving me a tour, showing me what's going on, and there's a lot of cool stuff. These guys, they build race cars, drift cars, and they just do insane mods to street cars in general. Starting off right here, this is a 300ZX, but I'll come back to it because right here, this is an R35 GTR. So this is actually my dream car, and I can't believe I'm seeing this one in person. This one is insanely modified though. It makes 1,000 horsepower. And as you can see, it has like some titanium pipes right here. It has the engine, and you can see like the hand-built engine, the name of the person that built this engine. It's just so cool, and I can even sit inside of it. So the doors, they open just like this, and boom. I'm gonna get inside right now. It feels so cool being in here. Like, when I sit inside, I can definitely see like, oh yeah, I'm gonna drive this car one day. Ah, yes. And this GTR also has aftermarket exhaust, and as you can see, it's actually blue tip exhaust, my absolute favorite. And the best part is that there's 4 pipes, not just 2 like on my BRZ, but 4. That's awesome. Also, check out these absolutely insane wheels, and it has really nice Nissan calipers as well, and like these rotors are just so massive, and they have the holes in them, which I really like as well. All right, so I'm just giving you guys a quick overview of all the cars in here. That's why I'm moving on pretty quickly, but I'm gonna talk to the owner of the shop after, and he'll explain more in depth about each of the mods. Coming here to the next car, this is a first gen BRZ, and it actually has a 2JZ engine that it has been swapped with. This is insane, check it out. So here's the engine, and it also has a massive turbo just right here, an intake, and this is so sick. This thing makes about 700 horsepower on ethanol. It's crazy. And right here, they actually have SCG, which is a nice personal touch that they added. And right above the BRZ is an MR2. This car is definitely another cool car. I really like the first gen BRZ, especially this color. It looks so nice. And I like this part right here specifically on the first gens. It's just a really nice touch to it. And this one has a rear wing on it. I really like these rear wings, and I especially love the tail lights on the first gen BRZ. I think they are just so iconic. This is a 240 SX, and it's being turned into a drift car. As you can see, there's some suspension components that are being modified to it. It has Ganador style mirrors, and check out this seat. This is insane. This is a drifting seat. This is to really like hold you in place when you're really sending it with a big fat drift. This car is currently being worked on, and if you guys want me to come back to update you on how this car is coming along, let me know in the comments down below. Right here is a Bronco, for those of you that like Broncos. This one is actually getting an engine and transmission swapped. So the engine is gonna be from a Corvette they're taking and then putting it into this car. Right here is a Pontiac Fiero, and as you can see they have added a wide body to it, and the interior is completely changed. There's so many mods. There's an aftermarket steering wheel. There's aftermarket seats. It's just completely, it looks actually quite gutted in the interior here. And this car is a rear mid-engine car. So this is where the engine's located. And as you can see, it's been swapped. All right, and right now I'm getting the chance to play with the interior of the car a bit. There's this really nice switch that I'm getting to press. And right here, the pop-ups come up. That's so sick. And I can turn them on and off just like that. And then I can bring them down just like that too. This is so sick. I love pop-up headlights. And right here's a 325i, and I really love old BMWs because of their front style. I just really like how the headlights look, and just this front grille, it's so nice. And right behind me, this is a 240 SX coupe, and it's been turned into a race car. This car, I heard it start up, and it sounds insane. Actually sounds quite scary. You can feel the sound, it's crazy. Take a look at this really beefy engine, it's insane. And the wheels, the suspension has been modified so that the wheels just like completely turn sideways. Right here, SCG has their logo on it, and I really like drift cars / race cars that have a really nice cool design like that. It just makes them look so unique. And right here, this is the car that I mentioned at the start of the video. It's the 300 ZX. I really like this car because it has such a nice pipe that extends far out. And the back end overall just looks so cool. I really like the taillights and this wing at the top. It's a pretty big wing and I really like it. And these wheels are really nice because they're white, so they provide a lot of contrast with the rest of the color of the car. And we're outside now because this Toyota Cressida just pulled up, and yo, it's so sick. It's very modified, as you can see by the exterior, and the interior actually has an aftermarket steering wheel and seats, and then it has these nice stickers on it and really nice clean wheels as well. In the back of it, it also has a really large exhaust pipe right here, so sick. And this car, this black BMW, is the owner's BMW, and he says that he actually got this from a real gangster, so I knew that black BMWs had mafia connections. All right, guys, and check this out. This is a Ford Focus, and what's interesting about it is that it's actually been swapped to rear-wheel drive. There are absolutely no normal cars in this shop. Everything's been modified. All right, check this. They just have some really nice wings laying around right here. And my favorite part is this towel. Like, look at the thickness of this paper towel. I didn't know that a roll could be so large. I really like how cool this is. All right, guys, so I'm here with Neil, who's the owner of SCG Performance. And we're gonna be talking about this R35 GTR first. So, Neil, can you talk about how this car can make 1,000 horsepower?
Yeah, so there's only so much I can talk about because we're trying to keep a bit of it secret for the next drag season.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a drag car. We have some custom Spectrum Motorsports built turbos on it, a bunch of titanium intake pieces, titanium exhaust. It has a Shep-built Stage 3 race transmission in it.
Stage 3?
Stage 3, or maybe Stage 4 or 5, I don't know. It's the craziest race
going.
transmission that we can have in this car.
Wow.
And yeah, it makes a ton of power.
I really like the titanium. It just looks so nice on it. And the turbo you said is, oh, it's twin turbo.
Twin turbo.
Yeah. Whoa.
So custom turbos by a local guy, Chris Scremin. He owns Spectrum Motorsports out in Port Kells. But yeah, he does an amazing job. They package and they fit in there really nice. They're really hidden. You can't really see them right now. But this thing makes a lot of jam.
With the 2JZ swap BRZ, and there's actually an MR2 above it. Can you talk about how you were able to put a 2JZ engine into this?
Yeah, I don't know. It was relatively easy. I mean, we do all the custom stuff here, right? So we made custom motor mounts for it. We sat it as far back as possible. We did kind of some trickery to get the heater core and everything to work, and then we just did some custom piping for both the coolant system, the intercooler. We made some custom adapters to use the stock BRZ throttle body. Again, this is a Spectrum Motorsports turbo, R-Tech manifold. This thing's cool. It has an M3 BMW transmission in it too.
Oh, does it actually?
Yeah, so this makes a lot of power too.
Wow, is it 700 horsepower on?
On ethanol, on E85,
ethanol,
yeah. So
sweet.
it's about 550 to the wheels on pump gas, and then it's close to 700 on ethanol.
This is awesome. By far, I think the coolest BRZ I've seen in person.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good, and it kind of just looks stock until you hear it, or it rips
yeah.
past you doing, you know, 200 miles an hour.
You drove this car as well.
I have driven this car, yeah. It's terrifying.
It's terrifying?
Yeah.
How does it sound? Does it sound crazy as well?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. At idle, it's pretty loud and it's kind of choppy, but
Yeah.
at like full throttle, wide open, it just screams. So we have the external wastegate here. It vents back into the exhaust, but the moment boost comes on, it just gets way louder.
Oh, and you said that the boost like kicks in and it stays kicking in.
Oh.
No turbo lag?
Yeah, no turbo lag on this thing. So it's sized so well, the turbo, it hits boost around like 3,300 RPM. That's when it starts hitting boost, and it hits full boost around 3,800, and it just keeps going all the way to red line.
Damn, that's crazy. Must be insane to feel that.
It's insane. This is one of the fastest cars I've driven.
Sweet. So this is a 1988 Pontiac Fiero, and this is supposed to be just an average economical commuter car, but you guys have done a lot to it.
Yeah, so we put a Honda K-Series in it, so a full drivetrain out of a 2006 RSX, and this is built as a time attack or a race car. So the owner of this previously had like a Corvette, I think it was a C7 Corvette. Yeah, he kept having engine issues. So he figured for the cost of replacing the engine in the Corvette, he would just get us to build something that he wanted, which was, you know, just happened to be a Fiero with a Honda motor. So got all the wide body, it has custom suspension throughout. We did all the custom engine and wiring and all that stuff, and it's pretty fast. So.
Cool. And can we see the engine?
Yeah, sure. That's it.
Wow. Wow.
So, so it's a K20. And then it's basically just a stock rebuild. We have huge injectors in it for when we go supercharged in the future. I wish we took this panel off actually, because it has a really fancy exhaust kind of hidden under it.
Oh.
Maybe we'll do that in the future. And then we did like custom catch can and a built-in overflow for the coolant, just so it kind of fills the space and looks nice too.
So they actually took off the panel of this car and you can actually see into the exhaust. Can you talk about this?
Yeah, totally. So the customer wanted a really quiet exhaust just because there's a decibel limit at the track, but there's really not that much space here. So what we did is we got just kind of whatever manifold. We cut it, converted it to a V-band, and then did two mufflers stacked back to back. So it's one in through this muffler, out into another muffler, and then dual out on either side. And then we've gusseted it. It's got some really crazy hangers, so like you could stand on this thing, and yeah, it makes the car really nice and quiet.
So we're at the Bronco now, and you said that this is engine and transmission swapped. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it's an LS engine, makes 505 horsepower. It's a similar engine you'd find in a Corvette, so it's just a Gen 3 LS. This one was rebuilt, it has fancy internals and everything. And then the transmission is out of a Sierra 2500 HD. So it's a four-wheel drive transmission and transfer case, and then made it up to the rest of the Ford components in it.
Wow, very cool. So these tires look a little bit small. Can you explain this?
Yeah, so when this thing originally came in, it had like a 6 or 7 inch lift in it, and it had like 40-inch tires. So when we were trying to work on it, this line was up here. So while we were waiting for the new suspension to show up, we just put some like old takeoff tires on it just so we could roll it around. And I think it looks really funny. So when we get it operational, I think we're just gonna drive it around for a bit like this, make it look like a Tonka truck or something.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty funny too. All right, so we're at this old school Beamer that I really like. Can you talk about what you did to it?
Sure. So this was kind of like a full restoration. A lot of the wiring stuff had to be gone through. The motor was built. We threw a new turbo on it, did all the custom piping and whatnot, and now it's on a standalone ECU as well, so we can kind of control everything. I don't know. Looks good. Sounds good.
Sweet. Yeah, and it's a drift car, right?
No, this one's more of like a kind of a daily driver type thing.
Oh, still a daily driver.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be such a crazy daily to have.
Yeah, we're expecting around 400, 450 horsepower out of this one.
So this is by far the craziest car of them all. Can you talk about this?
Yep, so this is one of our sponsored drivers, Gaston Morrison, who owns this car. It's a S13 240SX. It has a almost 600 horsepower LS in it as well. This one also has a G-Force G101A straight cut transmission out of like a 2010 NASCAR.
Oh,
so the engine's loud, the transmission's loud, everything on it's loud. It's
How many G's can it hit? Can you feel the G-force?
I mean, it feels pretty crazy. We haven't measured it, so the digital screen we have in it has a G-force meter, and that's probably something we could set up.
Oh,
but
no
we're
way.
always thinking about how much fun we're having rather than looking at the
yeah.
screen there. So.
And when you turn the wheels on this car, they go completely sideways?
I think this is about 79 or 80 degrees of steering angle, yeah.
Whoa.
So it's crazy. On a slight incline in the rain, we could drive the car just completely sideways.
That's crazy. So guys, if you guys want a crazy drift car or race car, please reach out to SCG Performance. They will hook you up for sure. And thank you, Neil, for showing me the shop and talking about the cars that you have here.
Yeah, no problem.
It was awesome. Remember guys, stay chillin'.